start. Good morning again, everyone. Welcome to this unit where we'll be learning about demonstrating leadership in the workplace. If that's all right, please keep yourself on a mute so there is no echoing in the back. If in one room more than one people are not unmute, there might be some echoing. That's the only thing. Whenever you have to say it, don't worry, unmute and say it. Okay? Thank you. Hope you guys had some good time. Who just left? So Charles is there. Someone just left. That's fine. Right. So what we are learning here. Sorry, I'm going a bit accelerated pace. As I said, there is a lot to cover. But yeah, why do we have to learn this unit? That's the most important. Why are you in this classroom? What are we learning today? Remember, like a child learns from the parents around him, a junior person or your staff member will learn from the leaders around them. So the quality that you should pursue, how you should do your work with all the integrity, with utmost sincerity, is what your staff will be doing. For example, if you come late, they will say, yeah, coming late is fine. If you don't do your work, they say, yeah, not doing the work is fine. No one is held accountable for anything, and that's why you have to do your bit like very clearly, right? Whatever you do will be mimicked by the person. If you pass comment about some other person in the office, for example, a male commenting on a female, or male commenting on another male about their physique, about their work attitude, if they are absent without knowing the reason for them being absent, if you're just commenting about that, oh, they are lazy, they are non-sincere, then staff member will do the same about your other thing. So whatever you do will be, bouncing back in the work culture. So that's why if you demonstrate good leadership quality, the whole atmosphere will be different. And remember last time it was just you guys where we were talking about how do you handle a difficult colleague, those who are not following your instruction and something. I was reading something else over the weekend, and again, I got the same thing. Don't worry about fixing the gap, fixing the errors. Just try to improve the relations and everything else will be fine. If, for example, I have good terms with you guys, right? You will do what I say, isn't it? But if you don't respect me, if we are not on that friendly term, you say, oh, don't worry about it. He's so and so, like good or bad words, right? You don't do what I tell you. Even if I force you to do it, even if I say, oh, you must do this, otherwise you will fail the unit, don't care, because the relation is broken. The relation is not smooth, right? Same thing goes with a kid. Same thing goes with the office members. Whatever thing happens in a family, more or less the same thing happens in the office. If you have a difference of opinion with your wife, with your kids, with your mom and dad, the same thing will happen in the office. Don't expect that in an office, you get people from heaven and they will do everything what you like and they are all good, It's the same thing, right? One good, Harisa? Okay. So the outcome that we might expect from this unit is model high standard of management performance and behavior. Like I said, your behavior will be mimicked by the other person. Enhance organizational image. If you say bad about your organization, they will say the same thing. I have a simple rule that I really insist that everyone must follow. If you don't like working with your place, with your organization, with the company, simply don't work. There is no need to say a bad thing about the company just because you are unhappy, Now, ask yourself, ask your heart, how many of you are held back from your company? They say, oh my God, I swear to God, please don't go, otherwise we'll be broken. No one would say that. Even though you might be the CEO, right? Even CEOs suffer, isn't it? Yeah, if CEOs are replaceable, the company doesn't get broke, it doesn't get break if CEO is changing. Like, what else do you expect from us? APTC will definitely run without me. So will be your company without you, right? But don't say bad thing about a company, because again, you are setting a wrong message, right? And make informed decisions. What we mean by this, whatever you do, you should be aware. If you wanted to talk about underperformance of an employee, yes, first of all, cover the grounds, know the fact why a person can be underperforming, and then go for underperformance issue. Right. Okay, that's a very good video, but I have it on my screen here. I have downloaded that. Okay, it's a very big video. 35 minutes. I'm not playing it now. What I'm doing, I am sharing a Google link with you guys. And sending in a chat. Whenever you have break, please listen to him. This is one of the favorite author or person that I follow, Simon Sinek. He got very interesting books and a way that he says few things. If you're not following or reading him or watching him on YouTube, I would definitely say please do it. Yeah, his name is Simon Sinek, as you can see on the screen. Simon Sinek. Just Google that. He's very popular. Yeah. And I'm happy. Okay, that's fine. You just Google him and watch some of his YouTube video. Yeah. Okay. As I said, I'm just being mindful of the time frame. Yeah. But if we have time, I will definitely, go back and play some of his very nice video or upload on My Village for you. And that's why you're given the headset. Yeah. So you can listen to that. Okay. Right. So he's really talks about nice, thing about leadership. And one thing that is very clear in my mind, let me just recall that and put it in a nice way. Leadership is not about being in charge. Leadership is being about taking care of the people in your charge. Right? So, like I said, this is my own. Okay, this is what I just say about leader. It's Simon Sinek, but what I'm about to say it now is on my own. Everyone likes to be boss, but no one likes the boss. Right? You say, I'm the boss. Okay, but so what? How does that help everyone else? If you're not helping them. And just imagine if you are being micromanaged, if you have a boss who's not very friendly, what would you do? You won't feel happy, isn't it? Yeah. So just take care of the people and they will take care of you. Simple as that. Okay, some of the key concepts. How has leadership? Okay, if my window is very small, I can minimize the video window and make it a bit bigger. Yes. Do you understand how Australian leaders is likely to develop as 21st century progresses? Which of your skill you can strengthen? Do you know the main approach to leadership and how you can extract useful information? And can you recognize when you should lead and when you should manage? This is very crucial, I'm telling you, the last one. As an organization, you need both leaders and manager. There is a very thin line between leaders and manager. You need to observe that and like hop on, hop off, hop on, hop off. Sometimes you need to manage people. Don't listen to them, what they are saying. Like, for example, I'll just give you one example. Don't take it personally, right? Karina and APDC would listen to you guys that, okay, you do what you want. Then you won't wear mask. You won't go through a swab test, right? You don't need leader in this situation. You need some manager who will tell you, do it as I say, right? But in many of the situation, you need to listen to your employee, how they feel. Then you need leaders who will hear your voice back, who will support you, right? In many of the situation, you need manager who doesn't care how an employee feel, gets the work done. COVID lockdown, another example. Yeah. Will politician be leaders at that time? They just have to manage the things. That's it. They won't ask you, are you happy with the lockdown? Of course, no one is happy with the lockdown. Are you happy with the no jab policy? Yeah, no one is happy with that. But you have to do it. There is a greater purpose behind it, right? Whether you like it or not, you'll just get over it. Yeah, so you need managers in those situations. Sometimes the leader, how do you feel? Are you all right? Can I help you with something? You need those kind of person as well. Yeah, so leader, manager, both of them are required. Okay, just read this slide. This is what is expected. Now, if you can't do that, you are not you are not being rewarded as a leader manager. Guide them. Don't do micromanagement. Just tell that this is what is to be done. Let me know if I can help. And they might say, okay, listen to them. Inspire, motivate, and support. Create a sense of purpose. Why does your job exist? That's the central purpose, right? You need to tell your employee that why are they in a workplace, right? Earn their loyalty, dedication, and commitment. Lead the way by example. Help them to find innovative ways to improve their productivity. How can they be more productive? Continuing with that one, empower them to make decisions, make them independent decisions so they can really, take their call and abide by that. Identify, develop, and grow their talents. Reward for their effort. Resolve any conflict, very important. Behave ethically, extremely important, and with integrity. Manage their own stress. I had that video which I like to play now. Have I played that video about integrity? Okay. No. No? Okay. Let me find that guy. I think it was Robert. 3 examples of integrity. Yes. Jeremy Kingsley. It's a 6-minute video. But worth watching it. Okay, I'll have to go for new share.
What is integrity? It's that idea of truth. It's that idea of honesty, something that's the opposite of a lie.
Okay, just because this is a part of our topic as well. So it's all about integrity. Like, it's very good. I don't know why I haven't played it so far. But it's something, irrespective of what unit are you learning, this is the basic thing, integrity. Do your work with all integrity, and it will be explained very nicely. Yeah, just follow him.
What is integrity? It's that idea of truth. It's that idea of honesty, something that's the opposite of a lie. It's the opposite of deceiving. It's the opposite of manipulation. There's that idea of truth and honesty and integrity. A person of integrity knows the right thing, says the right thing, does the right thing. Now, I've been learning about integrity all my life. When I was a little kid, teenager, as an adult, I'm going to tell you quick 3 stories about these lessons that I keep learning. Now, remember I mentioned when I was little that I lived in Wisconsin, farm country. We had a huge garden down away from the house. When I was about in 3rd grade, my mom said, I'm going to have you this year plant all the corn. Now, you got to understand, we're talking like 50 rows of corn. So she said, I've already got all the rows hoed out for you. Here's what you need to do. You put 2 or 3 seeds down, pat it down with some dirt, and come about 12 inches, put 3 more seeds down, pat with some dirt. You're going to do all those 50 rows. And you're not playing, you're not doing anything till that's done. I'm like in 3rd grade. I'm like, okay, well, let's just see how this goes. I start planting corn. I'm like, this is going to take forever. So I'm just going to plant it my own way. I take all this corn seed, I pour it on the ground. I start pushing dirt everywhere, all over, trying to cover up all this corn. Then I go over all the other 48 rows. I start patting it all down, trying to make it look like I planted the corn there, which is interesting. By the time I did that, I could have planted it the right way. So I finished. Months down the road, my dad says, hey, let's go for a walk with your mom down by the garden and down by the cornfield. I'm not thinking anything except, that sounds good. Let's go for a little walk. I'll get some strawberries and raspberries. We start walking. We get close to the cornfield. There should be about 50 rows of corn. There's 1 row of corn and then this gigantic corn tree. I mean, you've never seen anything like it. It's the biggest corn tree you ever saw in your life. And my dad goes, what is that? What in the world is that? I'm like, well, Dad, that's a corn tree. I mean, I don't know what to say. You've heard of Jack and the Beanstalk. Maybe this is Jeremy and the Cornstalk. I don't know what's happening. And my dad taught me a little lesson that day about integrity. Did I plant all the corn? Yes. But did I really plant it properly? Was there trickery or deceit involved? Yes. So I was lacking integrity. Well, I also was learning about it as a teenager when we moved to Washington, D.C. I got my first job at Domino's Pizza. Now, you understand Washington, D.C. is busy, frantic pace. I mean, it's a little bit crazy. I'm not a driver, but I'm working inside making the pizzas. That's like my first week, and I make a mistake. I look at the box, I look at the pizza that I made, and it doesn't match up. It was supposed to be pepperoni. I make a pizza with pepperoni and sausage, and I'm like, I'm going to get in trouble. So I go over to the manager, hey, Miss Tammy, I'm really sorry. I messed up. I made a mistake. I made the wrong pizza. She was so nice, so patient, so kind. Jeremy, it's okay. I know you're still learning. No big deal. I said, well, what should I do with this pizza that I made the mistake on? She said, well, we're going to make that a crew pie. I said, a crew pie? What's a crew pie? Well, if someone makes a mistake, sometimes we let everyone who's working here eat that, as we keep on working throughout the day. We call it a crew pie. Ah, crew pie. Like the sounds of that. My friend Kevin, who's over there working with me, goes, like the sounds of the crew pie. So all of a sudden, about once a week, there were these mistakes mysteriously being made on different pizzas. Crew pie after crew pie, until Miss Tammy figured out what we were doing. Then she came out about 3 weeks later. She was not very nice this time. True story. She grabbed the pizza, threw it against the wall. She said, Jeremy and Kevin, if you're going to make mistakes like this on purpose and take advantage of me, then you can work somewhere else. I want people that have integrity. Don't take advantage of me. Learned something about integrity that day. But even recently as an adult, because I speak about integrity quite a bit, I was at Best Buy with a friend. This is not too long ago. He was building a house, and he wanted to get this special TV for his room. Some of the guys, you love audio and visual, you want your little man cave. Now, this guy I would call a techie. I don't know if you understand what I mean. This guy loves computers. He loves gadgets, anything electronic. I'm even a little embarrassed going to Best Buy with him, because he's got this list of all the specs he wants on this TV, and I'm thinking, this is a little bit over the top, but he is my buddy. So we go in there. We're talking to the salesman there at the TV place, and he's a techie too. So they're enjoying each other. Well, I want 1280 this and 700 this and PC. And I'm like, I don't even know what these guys are talking about. And all of a sudden, the sales guy goes, you know what? I think Sony does make a model that has all these specs, but we don't carry it. But there is a store down the road that I think does have a model with all these specs on it, if you want to go there. Now, when he said that, I call a timeout. Now, I'm going to embarrass my friend for a second. Time out, man, time out. To the salesman, did you just tell my friend to go to a different store? To a competitor's store? Yes, sir, I'm sorry, we don't carry that model, but I think they have a few that have all the specs that he wants. I said, I want to talk to your manager right now. Please go get your manager. Now, this kid is freaking out, man. He is scared. He thinks he's going to get in trouble, but he's not. Manager comes over. Hey, is there some kind of problem here? Is there some kind of problem? No, there's no problem. I just want to tell you something. I was wondering if you could give this young man a raise. Now, all of a sudden, he's kind of confused, like, what? Well, I travel, ma'am, full-time, and I speak at a lot of different companies and corporations, and one of the things I talk about a lot is integrity, and he just showed that. My friend's looking for a certainty that you don't have. And instead of trying to trick him, instead of trying to manipulate a situation or steer him towards something he doesn't really want, he had integrity, and I appreciate that. I appreciate it so much that you probably just got a customer for life, because if this is the kind of people you have working here, I'm going to shop here. I wonder if you could give this guy a raise. Then all of a sudden he wants to give me a fist, like, yeah, dog, thank you. He's all excited, right? Integrity, love it. We need it in our personal and professional relationships. Integrity, the person who knows the right thing, says the right thing, does the right thing. Integrity.
So we learn about integrity, yeah, in a very nice way. The lesson he shares, maybe it's real or not, we don't care. It's simple, it's clear. That's what matters, yeah. So same thing goes everywhere, right? The assignment you submit, the work that you do, if you're stealing someone's work, if you're not doing it properly, forget that you can ever be a good leader manager, right? This is a quality that has to be earned, not learned. I would say you cannot learn it. You watch a video, yeah, and you say, okay, I really, got that one. No, it's not like that. You need to. Let me see if I can share the link. Copy the link. Oh, if you like that, I got heaps of stuff like this. It's just this year that with new assessment, they have been lengthy enough. Otherwise, with the previous cert for with every unit, I used to play at least 3-4 videos, at least. Because that was only 2 or 3 assessment, 3, maximum 4. Like up here, 3 is minimum and max is 5, right? And that really squeezing our timing, no? And I can talk about stuff like this, but then all of the work that you're doing in a classroom has to be taken home, which is not ideal. Yeah, because we don't have time when we go home. But anyway, yeah, this is the thing, right? So it's a quality that has to be earned. Okay, right. So some of the leaders skills that has to be built: visioning, create and share a picture of the future. Innovating, find new ways to work together, new ways to organize. Okay, innovate. Whatever you are doing, if you can find a faster way of doing it, go and do it. Train your employee for that. Relating from good working relationships, and sense making. Whatever you do should be simple to understand for every person you are working with. Okay, okay, 7 essential quality of, to see how big is that. Let me play it quickly. Okay, it's 4 minutes. That shall be fine. Share the sound.
Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and I want to talk to you now about leadership qualities. More than 50 qualities have been identified that are important to great leaders. But there are 7 leadership qualities that seem to stand out as being more important than the others. The good news is that each of these leadership qualities can be learned, and they must be learned by practice and repetition. First of all, great leaders have vision. They can see into the future. They have a clear, exciting idea of where they are going and what they're trying to accomplish, and they're excellent at strategic planning in getting there. Now, this quality of vision separates them from managers. Having a clear vision turns the individual into a special type of person. This quality of vision changes a transactional manager, someone who works with people to get the job done, into a transformational leader, someone who transforms the future of the business. While a manager gets the job done, Great leaders tap into the emotions of their employees. Now, the second quality of a great leader is courage. The quality of courage means that you are willing to take risks in the achievement of your goals with no assurance of success. Because there's no certainty in life or business, every commitment you make and every action you take entails a risk of some kind. Among the 7 leadership qualities, courage is the most outwardly identifiable trait of a leader. The third quality is integrity. In every strategic planning session that I've conducted for large and small corporations, the first value that all the gathered executives agree upon for their company is integrity. They all agree on the importance of complete honesty in everything they do, both internally and externally. The core of integrity is truthfulness. Integrity requires that you always tell the truth to all people in every situation. Truthfulness is the foundation quality of the trust that is necessary for the success of any business. The fourth quality of a great leader is humility. Great leaders are those who are strong and decisive, but also humble. Humility doesn't mean that you're weak or unsure of yourself. It means that you have the self-confidence and self-awareness to recognize the value of others without feeling threatened. It means that you are willing to admit that you could be wrong, that you recognize you may not have all the answers. And it means that you give credit where credit is due. The fifth quality is strategic planning. Great leaders are also outstanding at strategic planning. They have the ability to look ahead, to anticipate with some accuracy where the industry and the markets are going. Leaders have the ability to anticipate trends well in advance of their competitors. They continually ask, based on what is happening today, where is the market going? Where is it likely to be in 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and 2 years? What will customers want? And they do this through thoughtful strategic planning. Leaders always focus on the needs of the company and the situation. Leaders focus on results, on what must be achieved by themselves and by others and by the company. Great leaders focus on strengths in themselves and in others. They focus on the strengths of the organization, on the things that the company does best in satisfying demanding customers in a competitive marketplace. Your ability as a leader to call the shots and make sure that everyone is focused and concentrated on the most valuable use of their time is essential to the excellent performance of your company. The most important contribution you can make to your company is to be a leader, to accept responsibility for results, and to dare to go forward. Now, thank you for watching this video on leadership qualities. If you enjoyed this video, please press the like button below and click on the link on the screen to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hello, I'm Brian.
It was on a YouTube, but I thought I will download it because earlier we had some issue with playing YouTube videos live, kind of crazy sometimes. So just, and I sent the same thing via chat as well. Okay, that was Brian Tracy. Very simple. You can make notes and adhere or develop whatever skills you think you can do easily. Okay. Already, leadership theory. So there are many leadership theory, but we'll view them as we go. Yeah. Right. Right. So there are 3 main theories. One is a trait approach, other is a behavior approach, and third one is a situation approach. Right. Now, trait leadership is defined as an integral pattern of person characteristic that reflect a range of individual difference and foster consistent leader effectiveness across a variety of groups. Right. So you focus on that reflect on individual differences, trait leadership. Yeah. The behavior focus on what leaders do and how they act. Right. In shifting the study from leadership to leader behavior, the approach extends the research of leadership to into action of leader towards the follower. So what leaders do, not on an individual stuff. And finally, situation is on individual group they're attempting to influence. Like it says, is more practical on a job tool, situation leadership, right? So based on one situation, based on the condition or time you might be in, you need to adopt different leadership approach, right? Just imagine all of you, I can see 8 of you on my screen, right? Do you think I have the same approach to all of you? Like not being biased or not in being discriminating, not like that, right? But just imagine out of 8 of you, some of you is on track in terms of the submission and the work you do. Some of you are lagging behind. Some of you don't come to class. Some of you are there but not listening. Do you think I should be treating all of you the same way? Or would I be having different stick, like a weeping stick for all of you? Isn't it? Yeah? Say, for example, if Charles is on track, or William is on track, or Harry is on track, don't mind Frank. Yeah? And Frank is not. Just, right? Will I be treating both the same way? Ideally, I should be, but if I want the output, because if I care for Frank, see, if I don't care approach, then everyone is same for me. Why would I care? Frank submit, doesn't submit, it's his job. My job is to train and mark the work you're submitting. But if I care for Frank, what I would do, push him a bit, right? Push him, Frank, you are due, do it now, or the window is closing, that's it. Push him a bit. That might help Frank to go out of the box and submit on time, right? But if William or Harry is on a track, I shouldn't be pushing them. I shouldn't be saying a word to them, except great job, right? So same person will have 2 different leadership approach. To one is more appraisal kind of thing, more mentoring kind of thing, because they are not right. The other one, more pushy kind of thing, more authoritarian leadership, where I'm not listening to what Frank is saying. I'm just telling Frank, I understand, but this is what you are doing now. Stop everything else. Like I did with few of the colleagues in the batch, because the deadline was closing. I don't care anything else. Just submit this work. Let me know if I can help. That's it. Yeah. So it's a different leadership approach that you will have to develop. Right, so trait leadership bit more in detail. What leaders are born with? There are top 6 trait, like skills you can say. The creativity, the competency, trustworthiness, decisiveness, people skill, and intelligent. You can't ask a dumb fellow to be a leader. Then you know the consequences, yeah? If someone who is not qualified sits on top of you as your manager, you'll be like, oh, he doesn't know anything. What is he doing? Yeah? And that's why it's a journey to become a leader or the manager. 5 models of leadership, like everything is explained in detail. Charismatic, empathetic, servant leadership, narcissistic, and transformation leadership, right? I am. Okay. I'm just writing them in the chat and sending it to you guys. Okay. Text. I'm just writing something in the chat. Okay, so we got charismatic leadership. It's basically the method of encouraging particular behavior in a way, by the way of eloquent communication, persuasion, force of personality. You force someone that this is what I want you to do, right? Charismatic leaders motivate follower to get things done or improve the way certain things are done, right? Well, as an empathetic leader is the one who has a genuine interest in his team member's life, right? You are like people's person, right? The challenge they face and their overall feeling. The kind of leader makes an effort to understand their situation, what they are going through in order to offer support and help. Most winning leadership is empathetic leadership because you care for people. The moment you start caring for people, they are on your side. Servant leadership is a leadership philosophy in which the goal of the leader is to serve. This is different from traditional leaders, where leaders' main focus is striving for the company organization. Narcissist leadership, leaders are interested only in themselves. They prioritize that interest even to detriment of the others. The recent war situation, right? The leaders only care about themselves. They don't care if the lives are lost, many things you can connect with this. It's destructive when it is driven by person's need for power, admiration, approval from others, And finally, transformational leadership is the theory of leadership where leader works with teams to identify needed change, creating a vision of guide, the change through inspiration, executing the change in tandem with committed members of the group. It is an integral part of full range leadership model. Yeah. So there are various things, and then you can connect yourself. As I said earlier, one person needs to have a couple of leadership style based on a situation. Yeah. So they are in a chat for you. Write them or follow them when you want. Okay. By the way, do you guys get that notification after the meeting was over that this is a chat that happened, or no? When the meeting is over? Not sure.
No.
Okay. Not sure. Okay. Let me just see that. Otherwise, I'll have to share it with you guys. Chat record more participants. Okay. Chat everyone and anyone directly. Okay. That's good. You should be able to. You just need to sign in with your username password on a Zoom portal. So when you sign in on Zoom, I can share the link. Zoom.us sign in, that's the link. Yeah. When you sign in with your username and password, the one you did now to log in, and then you can go in the previous meeting that you attended and go to the chat. Don't worry, I will share the chat with you guys once we are finished. Yeah. So don't worry about, if you want to write notes, it's fine, but you don't have to. Yeah. Okay. Right. So let's continue. Some leadership aspect. So leader has to be selflessness, has to be responsible, motivational, some loyal, should have knowledge, be judgmental, integrity, initiative, decisiveness, courage, and ability to communicate well. Some of the qualities of leaders. Yeah. Right. Then we got few more leadership thing. Yeah. The behavioral approach. What do leaders do? Leadership as a set of behavior. These are known as a leadership style. Right. Again. Again, I'm writing them in a chat one by one. And then I'm writing in a chat so you can also read with me, otherwise, like I'll be saying something and you're just listening, doesn't really help. Let me put everything in a chat first. And God knows if this is a part of your assessment, then writing in a chat can really help you. Yeah, I don't remember. That could be a part of your assessment. Yeah? Good. Let me go back to the first one and explain them one by one. Right. So we got the first one, dictatorial leadership. So this style focuses on a leader and no one else. You are a dictator, like a strong person. Yeah. It is a style of leadership where there is always a personal control over decision-making process for the team. A leader using this style may choose to receive feedback from the team, but any decision is theirs to make alone. So I can listen to you guys, whatever you are saying. Adushan, do it this way. Your training is good. Your training is not good. How about you improve it? But again, I'm just listening. I'm still doing the way I want. Yeah. These leaders tend to make decisions that are based on their own moral code. They combine their experience, observation, and ideas together to create judgments. These judgments are then used to maintain absolute control over the group, often using reward or punishment to generate loyalty. And then I have shared a link. Please view them when you got some time if you want to. Yeah. Next is democratic leaders. Balance decision-making responsibility between the group and a leader. They actively participate in the discussion, but also make sure to listen to the views of others. This style often leads to positive, inclusive, collaborative work environment. Like democracy, like democratic. Yeah. Furthermore, a good democratic leader can bring groups creativity. Under this style, leaders still retain final responsibility for the decision. Children under democratic leadership made the highest quality contribution. So you should respect, right, others' view in this leadership, right? Which is commonly known as participative leadership. It is about letting multiple people participate in a decision-making process. This leadership can be seen in a wide range of contexts, from business to school to governments. Okay, now that's democratic. Authoritarian. Authoritarian means the leader has full power, full authority. Authoritarian leaders tell groups what to do, expect what group members to execute. Under time pressure, this style may work well, allowing the leader to make quick decisions and providing the group with direct instruction. An authoritarian leader who presents a clear vision can motivate a divided group. However, leaders are more likely to disregard the good ideas of others. The style can inspire resentment and stress. In Levin study, the children under authority were productive but not very creative, because you don't allow that room. You don't allow that room. The last which I'm talking, laissez-faire leadership allows group members total freedom. This leader do not participate in a decision-making process and rarely offer opinion, just listening. This style can work well if the group is highly motivated and competent. However, this leadership has many drawbacks. One minute. Okay, yes, the final one, that's what we are talking. This leadership has many drawbacks. Without the leader's input, the group can sink into conflict as members jockey over the roles and responsibility. In addition, deliberation may continue far too long. Finally, by not weighing on the process, the leader forfeits the control of the final product. In the study, children were the least productive and the most argumentative. So these are various leadership styles. You need to classify which one you fall into and the good and the bad it can bring with you. Okay? Right, so we got some theory behind behavior approach. One is a continuum of leadership style. Okay, so here is the use of authority by leader, and here is the freedom. So from here, as from low to the high. Up here is more authority from the leader, less authority of the leader. Very small freedom to the highest freedom, right? As you can see. So this part is more authority, very little freedom. Like freedom has grown to this much, and authority has sunk to the minority. Yeah. So we got tell, sell, consult, share, and delegate. Leaders announce what is to be done because they have higher power. Then you improve that. And finally, when leader has low power and more freedom, they delegate. Leaders permit employees to function within the defined limit because you are given more freedom. Yeah. Okay. So you got some different definition in between, but this is a continuum leadership style. Then we got consideration and structure model. We got consideration from low to high and structure from low to high. Low consideration, low structure falls here. High consideration, low structure. So you considerate others' feeling and follow the structure. How long do you follow? Right? How less do you follow that? It's all the combination, like four, low and low, high and high, and anything in between. What we mean by this, again, how much consideration you provide in terms of the situation, in terms of the participant, that all kind of thing. Yeah. And how much structure do you follow? Are you happy to break the structure if there is a need, if the situation arises? Yeah. I like this one, the managerial grid. We got two different part here. One is a concern for output. You are focusing on output only. Okay. And here is a concern for people. This is low, as you can see, 1 and 1. And this is 9, the highest one. See, there is a lot of information here. Don't worry, you don't need to memorize everything, right? You kind of FYI, or if you need to. Okay. When it says low and low, that means you have low concern for the output, low concern for the people. Not a great thing to be. Yeah. Up here, you got a high concern for the people, high concern for the output. Both of them high. Higher concern, lower people concern. Sorry, I mixed up. Higher output, lower people concern. It's 9 and 1, as you can see. Yeah. Up here, you care for people a lot because that's 9, and you don't care for the output. I'll just give you an example, and somewhere in middle, 5, 5. Yeah. Okay. What we are saying. Let's talk about this one. Up here, I have high care for the people. Like, for example, if I am there in Solomon, then I'll come and say, oh, Peter, don't worry, my friend, about the assignment. I don't care if the assignment is done or not. I simply care for you. You need to be all right. Don't worry about the work. This kind of leadership, where I only care about the people, not the output, not the work, is called country club leadership. This one here, right? Task leadership, as it says. Task lead. I know it's a bit tiny, and that's why I shared the PPT already. Yeah. If I make it bigger, it won't fit in the screen. Yeah. Task leadership, where I'm taking care of task first over people. I might come and say, William, I don't care how you feel. I want the job done today only, where I'm focusing on a task. I don't care if William is well or not, whether he's capable of doing it or not, whether he likes it or not, just the task focused. I'm concerned with the output. Team leadership, both of them are high. Improvised leadership, both of them are low. And somewhere in middle is middle of the role leadership, where you care for both, 50-50. Yeah. So that's called managerial grid approach. Theory of X and Y. Theory X, employees are lazy and work only for money. This belief leads to the leader behaving such as cause and a threat to punishment. Because if I say that, you guys don't care, you just come here, get your pay and go home, that's your approach, then I don't care for you as well. And theory Y, employee what to do their job well and seek responsibility and challenges. If I am on this pessimistic approach, then I will look above and beyond and try to help you. So what is there in your mind will have a greater impact on your relations with your employee. And that's so true. If you feel that your employee are not doing the job because they are not motivated, they don't care, they are just working for the paycheck, then your approach towards them is different. But if you think that, oh, okay, I can really motivate them, I can really push them a bit far, then you try to do that and of course improve the working better relations. Yeah? Okay, we have covered half of the thing that we should be. Any questions so far? All good? Yep, okay.
Sure, clear. Decision.
Thank you. Right, the final one, the situational approach. The situation determines which leadership has to be used. The situational approach explains why leaders sometimes behave in a certain way. You might find me good on one day and bad on the other day. Situation approach. My situation, my working pressure, my KPI would have been changed. Like, it's not real, but I'm just giving an example. Let's say my country manager says, Dushan, no one should fail in the group. And then my approach towards you will be different. And if you say, no, Dushan, that's fine. It's their choice. If they want to do the work, that's fine. If they don't, bad luck. Then my approach towards you will be different, isn't it? Yeah, but if I have a KPI that I only have my job if every one of you gets a certificate, then it's a different story. Of course, it's not real, like I said earlier. Yeah, but just giving an example how a particular situation will force a leader to treat everyone else differently. Yeah. Three models: contingency approach, elements of leadership, task readiness approach. Contingency approach. The contingency, the backup, the emergency response, how much you are equipped with that will, for example, if there is a lockdown, are all of you are well equipped? Do you have the technology to work with? Do you have the tools to work with? Do you have the extra funding? Do you have extra grocery? All that thing, right? Will be totally putting you off in a different situation, right? How much you are equipped with the other leadership approach, and what is your task readiness approach? How much you are focusing on a task, like we saw earlier, right? Is all a part of situation approach. Let's look at all of them. Contingency approach, theory of leadership. Suppose that the leader's effectiveness is contingent on whether or not a style suits particular situation. According to this theory, an individual can be effective leader in one circumstance and ineffective in the other one. If everything is working well, then you might be a good leader. The moment people don't respond, people don't follow what you are saying, your leadership style is losing control. That you are good in one situation, not in the other. Position leadership operate from a traditional or formal understanding of the power. Someone who holds a power, say CEO or CFO, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Chief Operation Officer, can reasonably assume that a large amount of power is granted on them based on their role, based on a title. The most favorable situation for a leader is the one when there is a good leader-member relation. Always, we know it very well. Or you are the utmost power. You can hire and fire anyone, or highly structured class. Everyone knows what to do. Yeah, everything is clear, black and white, transparent. And the least favorable is poor leader-member relationship. You are not having good relation with your members. Weak position power, neither you have good power, and no one knows what they are doing, including you. Okay, that's a low structure, task structure. Yeah. What are the elements of leadership? So there are three factors that you consider: the task, the employee, and the leader. What is to be done? Who is doing it? And who is guiding them? Right? If one of this is weak, then forget about the output. The task, if they don't know or the task is too difficult, then you can't expect that they'll be able to do it, isn't it? Yeah. If the employees or the leader themselves. Again, let's look at the task. Is there one best way to do it, or there are several ways? I mean, is the employee clear on what is expected or how they are doing the work? How complex it is? Like I just said earlier, I needed all of you to be very much prepared mentally, physically about the complexity of this 2-unit, the work requirement. If I hide you from it, everyone is kind of relaxed, and all of a sudden you will, oops, there is a lot to cover. Yeah. Did you get some visitor? How critical it is, how much time is there to do it, and what is the risk involved? I think it's some of the delegates, but that's why I will continue. Right, so you need to tell them some of the leadership approach. So that was about the task. As we saw here, we had 3 approaches: the task, the employee, and the leader. We talked about what is involved in the task. Now we'll talk about the employee. What leadership style does your employee prefer? Right? How much independence do they want? How much freedom is they wanting? How competent and willing are they? Are they experienced at working together, and are they directly affected by the excellence of the decisions that you take? All that kind of thing is all about employee. They might prefer one leadership style over the other. They might prefer, oh, we like authoritarian, oh, we like democratic. It could be the situation, it could be the employee. Yeah. The next we talk about the leader. What style of leadership are you most comfortable with? Are you experienced? Who are your role models, and what are your organization's value, tradition, and policies? Okay. We just continue a bit for a while, yeah, because anyway you don't have much room out there. I think they are Australian High Commission people. Right. Okay, I can see. Let's just mind a few slides and then we'll take a break. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we were talking about the element of leadership approach. So that was based on a leader. Finally, we talk about the task readiness approach. Right. This approach is to selecting leadership style using 2 dimensions of leadership behavior: directive or relations. Directive, how much task focus and supervision you provide, and the relation, how much support and encouragement do you provide? Yeah, so that's a task readiness approach. There are 4 styles, S1 to S4, just given some style 1, style 2, 3, 4. Style definition: high directive, low relation. Remember the grid we talked earlier will fit in here. Let me just go back. What was it? I have to this. This one, low consideration, high structure kind of thing. Yeah, this thing. Same thing, high direction, low behavior, right? High direction, high relation, low direction, all that, like 4 combination. Yeah, so you put them in a quadrant, right? Like this, here is low, here is high, here is high. You put direction on this, and you put relations on this. Yeah, and then low and low, high and high, low, high, high, low. Yeah, we talk about all 4 of them. Okay. What is the approach? So if you have high direction and low relation, you are talking about more on a task, right? High direction, high relation, both of them. High relation, that means you are supporting, like I said, I just picked up Peter and William. I said, oh, Peter said, don't worry about the task, right? I just simply, care for you, then you are focusing more on a relation, not on a direction, not on a task. At the same time, with the other fellow, I might say, okay, I don't care about you. I don't care how you feel. Let's get the job done. And then we discuss everything else. Then I'm talking more on a direction, more on a task than the relation. Yeah. Two factors that make up employee task readiness level: competence, ability to complete the task, and willingness to complete the task. Okay. The concept of task readiness level relates to each task of an employee, does not to overall competence. This means a person's readiness level might be different, right? Again, let's talk about Charles, right? If it comes to something related to dental, Charles will the person let go. I said, oh, it's me. Don't worry about that. I'll take care of it. At the same time, if it's some report writing, maybe Charles said, no, I don't like to. So his readiness to particular task will be different, isn't it? Same thing goes with me. I'm like analytical person, numbers man, leadership management trainer. Anything with those areas, I'll give it to me. I love it, right? But if you ask me to write an English essay or be creative or draw something, painting, I'll be nah, boring for me. My readiness will drop down because I'm not competent enough. I don't have the ability. I don't have that willingness to do it. So as a leader, you need to be mindful of these things as well. Yeah. Right. I got 8 slides to cover, but I don't have to cover everything now. It will be too much. We already gone 8-10 minutes over. So I'll post the sharing. I'll post the recording started. We got few slides to cover, and then I'll give you a short break to read that, like literally short, not a break, like time to read it. And if you need any clarification, otherwise we'll go to task 1. Yeah. All right. So yes, this is what we were talking when we go for coffee. So task readiness approach is the competency or ability to do a task, or is your willingness, right? So readiness level 1, 2, 3, 4. Readiness level 1, I don't know how, I can't do it. I did my best, but I couldn't. I never done it before. So that's the least readiness level. Readiness 2, you're saying, show me, I'll try it. I'm not sure, but I'll give it a go. Yeah. Readiness level 3 is either developing or regressing. Either you are going forward or you're moving backward, right? Regressing, you'll do it later. It's someone else's turn. So don't ask me to, right? Readiness level 3, developing, is how does this look, or all that kind of thing, right? I'm not sure if I can, but you are still showing a readiness. Readiness level 4, already done it, leave it to me and don't worry about it. No worries. Here, let me help you out. Okay, so you're like promptly everything on go readiness. Yeah. Transactional approach. It is based on an approach where reward and punishment depend on a performance. If you do good work, you are rewarded. If you don't, you're punished. Kind of that thing, right? The approach works well enough in situations where work is repetitive, problems are simple, judgment isn't required. Like data entry, like for example, where it doesn't require too much of attention and all that, right? Also, let me know if I'm breaking my voice, because all of you are having video on, which is great. But if you can't hear me well, then we'll turn half of the videos off. Yeah. For this type of leadership to work, you need to make clear what is expected in terms of performance. If you say good report writing, like what do you mean by good? Like error-free, lengthy, good grammar, good vocab. What do you mean? Yeah. Provide the resource to the employee, monitor their performance, and provide positive feedback. Don't worry about them. Okay. What leadership styles? What type of leader are you? Let me go to this. I'll have to share.
The reality is that Facebook advertising is becoming more and more expensive, and trying to scale it is
As an introduction, here are two common styles of leadership. One is called transactional and the other transformational. Once you've read through these two types, you'll be able to take a quick assessment in order to determine your own current leadership style. Whilst transactional leaders would usually work within boundaries and have set established outcomes, a transformational approach is more future conscious and dynamic. Transactional leadership. If you are a transactional leader, you'll be task and results driven whilst adhering to strict organisational boundaries. Additionally, you'd be motivated to reward people and evaluate performance regularly. You'll be focused on ensuring activities are completed efficiently and effectively. This style of leadership can become especially useful when dealing with strict deadlines and are constrained with resources. It maintains group dynamics whilst evaluating how each team member or employee performs their given task. Transformational leadership. If you're a transformational leader, you'll focus on engaging and enthusing employees, making sure they understand how their work will help deliver your vision within the company and the values of the organisation. As a transformational leader, you'll lead by example whilst inspiring your team to drive change and achieve a common goal. There are important differences between transactional and transformational leaders. A transactional leader will understand how rewarding someone will result in more effort being made, whilst a transformational leader will motivate their staff in order to get the best out of them without having to constantly reward. Transactional leadership is more reactive to present concerns, whilst a transformational leader is more hands-on, and by doing this, creates higher expectations in their workers. A transactional leader will use methods such as carrot and stick motivation in order to control workers, as opposed to transformational leaders who inspire their staff in order to motivate them. In order to motivate, a transactional leader will set boundaries whilst producing rewards if goals are met. Transactional leadership is dependent on how well a leader is able to motivate. But transformational leaders have excellent managerial qualities, bond with their team, and build strong relationships.
Okay, so that was one of the difference between transactional leadership. Where did that go? Sorry. Or transformation. Okay. I can share the link in the chat, so please get it from. It's a part of PPT as well. You'll have it. Okay. Right. Here is the difference between leader versus the manager. Right? The leaders align the people, managers organize people. Then leader asks what and why, managers ask how and when. Coach and develop will control people. Encourage experiment, give the direction. Focus on a people, focus on a reason. Empower and support, formal authority. Help people develop, they solve the problem. Involve, delegate, lead by example and inspire, give direction, tap into people's strength. Well, this is monitor, use empathy, interpersonal skill, focus on a task, use formal authority. Again, you need both of them from a company point of view. You can't say the leaders are best and managers are not. Like I said earlier, there are many situations where manager will do a better job than a leader. Right, so this is what we covered. There was a lot of information, I agree. Yeah, but we don't have to memorize everything that we have discussed. It's a reference or learning source for you, right? We still need managers to allocate resources, increase efficiency, optimize process and structure, deal with budget and a number, all sort of communication and things. Yeah? And this is what we learn. Any questions? I might not have shared all the videos. I got one more video to play, which I will do it now. And then I'll leave the floor open for any question.
The most effective leaders know that leadership is not a one-size-fits-all approach. They adapt their style to fit each unique situation. When you understand the different leadership frameworks and approaches available, you're better able to guide your team through challenging situations. For instance, psychologist Kurt Lewin identified 3 major leadership styles, and in his framework gives a popular way to think about leadership. One of these is autocratic leadership. Leaders who use this style make decisions without talking to their team. What they say goes. An autocratic leadership style can be demoralizing, but it's often effective in emergency or crisis situations. Another one of Lewin's leadership styles is democratic leadership. Leaders who use this style have the final say, but they include their team in the decision-making process. Democratic leadership is empowering and encourages creativity, but it can be ineffective when you need to make a quick decision. The last of Lewin's styles is laissez-faire leadership. And laissez-faire leaders give their team a lot of freedom in how they do their work. This autonomy can lead to high job satisfaction, but it can backfire if team members don't know how to manage their time well. Another effective leadership style that Lewin doesn't talk about is transformational leadership. Transformational leaders have integrity and high emotional intelligence. They're good communicators, and they motivate their team with a shared vision of the future. These leaders are authentic, empathetic, humble, and inspirational. However, their magic can quickly fade if they get carried away by giving short deadlines and expecting others to work long hours. As you can imagine, there are many more approaches and frameworks you can use to lead your team. And there's no one style that works for all situations. When you understand the different approaches available, you can tailor your own leadership style to better fit the situation you're in. To learn more about leadership styles, see the article that accompanies this video.
Okay, so that was all about the concepts. I'll share that video in a chat as well, if it helps. Any questions for me? Now let me stop the recording. That's too big of a